of the Iranians. Them Ethiopians and them Somalians, they're gonna be with Russia. It's gonna get mucky, man.
Yeah.
Read on.
You're in a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmets.
Yep. Armed up to the teeth. You see, the Lord's been preparing this war for since the 1970s, man. And that's no joke. You can check it statistically. The third world countries have been arming themselves with higher and higher technology since about the 1970s, man. Prior to that, they didn't really have nothing. Now they got something, man. See, the Lord's been preparing the world for this war because it's the war to end all wars. And it's inevitable. There's no stopping it. There ain't gonna be no all of a sudden hand holding hand.
Yeah.
Right?
Groma and all his bands. The house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
That's right, like I said. Syria's missile defense system is the Russian defense system. Iran's missile defense system is the Russian defense system. The S-400. Why is that? Why is that? How come it's not the Indians' system? How come it's not a system from America? Why is it a Russian system? Because it fulfills the scriptures. The Lord said, be a guard unto them. They be giving them the AK. What's the weapon of choice for the Syrians? The AK. Libya was one of the only places in the world that had an AK-47 factory, man. That's why there's so many AKs in Libya. They used to actually make them there. The most reliable rifle on the planet Earth. May not be the most powerful, most reliable. It does exactly what it says on the tin, man. Go on, read on up.
After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword and is gathered out of many people.
Yeah, Israel. Because when Russia get into this war with Syria, Russia are going to find themselves becoming enemies with the state of Israel. Because the state of Israel is basically the 51st state, man. It's the state of the United States of America, the ruling state. You know what I'm saying? So you think if there's a war in the Middle East and Russia squaring off against America, they're not going to square off with them gutter rats in Israel too? You're damn right. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, they're going to be fighting the Russians. And the Russians are going to roll their tanks up into there, man. They're going to be dropping off their tanks on that motherfucker, man. And the Israeli Knesset is going to get fucked up. Going up.
Against the mountains of Israel, which have always been waste, for it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee.
Yeah, they shall be like a cloud to cover the land. They're going to be sending them forces over, man, in them planes. Sending their bombers over. Okay? Stealth bombers, all that. And they're going to be sending them over here too. Because they got runs all over the world. Read on.
Thus saith the Lord God, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
That evil thought is to totally destroy America. And that's when the war is going to become nuclear. It's going to start off conventional. What's conventional? Laser weapons, bullets, ballistic missiles, maybe even a small tactical nuke. They got all kind of shit. But there's going to come a point where the Most High, Satan, Slovakia.
Yeah, man. As the stake rises, man, you know, it's gonna be more. It's gonna come to that point where Russia's just gonna say, "Fuck it, man." Mosai is gonna put that spirit onto them to send those nukes, man.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're gonna be heading straight for America. You know, China, Russia, you know, all those that hold nukes, man, they're gonna fire on America, man, to completely end it. Because really, the whole world has had enough of America, man.
Even the NATO
nations, yeah. No, even its allies, man, they're gonna shoot nukes on America, man, because you know it has to come to an end. America has to be destroyed.
Basically,
America's gonna be that sacrifice, man.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit. See, basically, the reason why them NATO nations, not only do they hate America anyway, but the French, the Germans, and these other European countries, they hate Americans and they hate America because them Americans boast themselves.
Yeah.
But they're the stupidest people on the planet Earth. But really, the elites, they're going to sanction it because America's going to be deemed that sacrifice necessary to bring in
New World Order.
Their new world, yeah. They're bringing their new world order, man. So it's really, first and foremost, the spirit of the Most High. But you can see why the elite would do it. But what they don't know is when they do that, then the Lord is going to step in.
That's right. And then it's going to get more messy from there on, man. Those nukes are going to drop in America, man. America's going to be absolutely obliterated. But at that very same time, man, the men of the Lord in America, man, they're going to be saved in the chariots of the Lord, man. Okay, Yahushua and the angels, man, they're gonna be saved up in them chariots, man. And then the Lord's gonna come and finish the job, man, with the rest of you nations, man. Until you're on your knees, man, and you're put in chains. Okay, because that's the outcome of World War III. Yahushua wins.
Yeah.
You know, fuck all your quarrels, man. Yahushua is the ultimate winner, man. Because he's gonna come and put you nations into submission, man, into slavery. Okay, and the kingdom of heaven is going to be established in its rightful place, man.
This is Revelations. Revelations, the 9th chapter and the 12th verse. It says, "One woe is past, and behold, there came 2 woes more hereafter." So it is already written in the scriptures, there's going to be 3 world wars. Now, as long as you've been drinking a little bit of water with your fluoride, your cognitive ability will be able to deduce that we've already had 2 world wars. Aptly named World War I and World War II. And then there's going to be a 3rd. Now, in the same book of Revelation, it tells you that the 3rd woe cometh quickly. So don't think that the 3rd World War is going to be in the year 2200 in space with Captain Picard or something like that. It's already come. That's what I'm trying to say. We're already in the midst of World War III. You just don't know it yet. Because the bomb ain't landed in your house, or you've not become a victim of any covert operation.
Yeah.
But many have. Now it says that flash is the light is blinding.
Turn it off.
No, it's alright. I'm just not looking to the camera.
To the right.
I can't help it. It's beautiful. That's what happens. You watch too many cartoons. Automatic responses. Now this is Revelations 9 and 13, and the 6th angel. you take it off?
Unable to flash because their battery is low. So
Alright, okay.
Oh, it's still running, yeah.
Yeah, so the dice in them.
And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bounded in the great river Euphrates. Meaning there was four angels whose job is to set up this World War III. And there was going to be a time when those angels were going to be loosed. And guess what? Them angels have been loosed, man. Yep. That's why ain't nothing but hell breaking out in the Middle East in quick succession. Gaddafi's gone, man.
That's dead.
He's dead. That's how quick. And they've already moved on to Syria. Okay?
Just seems like one after another, man.
Dominoes.
Constantly rolling it over, man.
Well, that's them four angels. Them angels have been loose. They're doing their thing. Right? It says, which are bound in the great river Euphrates, which is over there in the Middle East. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for the day to slay the third part of man. Basically to begin the destruction of the so-called white man. Because there's three parts of man. The sons of God, which are the Israelites, which is why you got these clowns talking about before Israel. Look, Abraham was an Israelite. He was a prince of power. Because he was the son of God. Right? Before we were known as Israelites, we were known as sons of God. Okay?
Which Israel means the same thing, man.
Practically the same thing, because a prince is the son of a king.
That's right, the Most High is that king. So
Right.
sons of, it's the same thing.
And then you got the second part.
Oh, the battery is getting low.
Okay.
14%.
Okay. You got the second part, which is the sons of men, which are these other nations. They make up the sons of men. Then you got the third part, which is the sons of the wicked one.
That's right.
Which are these so-called white people. Because they're going to get it bad in this war. Because they're on both sides of this war. Yeah? Russia versus America. It says, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. Right? These horsemen are nuclear missiles, and I'm going to prove it. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of japheth and brimstone. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. That represents the warhead. And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these three were the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth. Like I said, the missile, the power of a missile is in the mouth. The majority of the missile, the tail, so to speak, is propulsion. It's the delivery system. The intercontinental ballistic missile. That's why when you hear these demons talk about nuclear disarmament, what they're talking about is removing the warhead from off the intercontinental ballistic missile. They ain't talking about destroying the warhead. Because you can't do it. There's only one way to destroy a nuclear warhead. You have to explode it. Okay? Now, unless you want to explode thousands of nuclear missiles on Earth, you got to store them somewhere. But obviously, that leaves it open for you to reattach them to the ICBM. Right? It says, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails. The power of the tail is the jet propulsion that takes it up into the atmosphere. Like, it's basically a rocket, man, a space rocket. Because the ICBM actually goes up into the higher atmosphere, man. Then it reaches its destination and comes back down. It makes it hard to destroy it.
If you ever watch the stages of one going up, man, you see it break into little pieces before it gets to that final warhead. that comes down and drops and makes that, causes all that great destruction, man. It goes from a big missile thing to, you know, a relatively small warhead, man. That's it. That's what comes and brings you death. It's that little thing at the top.
For their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. The tail is talking about the smoke that gets left behind. When you see it, it's like a trail, like what a snake leaves a trail in the sand. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and the wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their theft. So even when America is destroyed, and the land of Israel, and certain cities around the world, the so-called white people in these other nations that are left on the planet Earth, they're still not going to repent from their wickedness. That's why we're going to furthermore put them in slavery, to execute punishments upon them, okay? And we in that time. Yeah. The time is nigh. Yeah. Basically, the next year, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Because anything has happened. And time keeps speeding up. Every day it's like a new shit you're hearing. You're like, yo, that's deep. What, they killed a Russian general? You know? So with that, we're going to close up for today. And we'll catch you next week, Lord willing, man. So, shalom.
Shalom.